Hello again, welcome back, This is going to be fairly rapid fire, a little bit, just some small videos, and I wanted to share it. As you're watching, please subscribe to Zenewa, the platform where we speak truth to power, help us reach more people. This video, you're going to hear from somebody, I think it's probably a Sudanese person. He's talking about the issues that are being faced by Nigerians trying to go back home from the war zone in Sudan by way of Ethiopia. Now, apparently, Ethiopia is now refusing to let Nigerians through. Instead, it let nobody else through but Nigerians, and they're telling Nigerians to go and get the visa. Now, as we all know, the visa offices in Sudan are closed. That is inhuman. For an African to be one African country to be treating the other one like this is clearly unacceptable. Let's listen to what this man is saying, and I might come back on a live about this shortly, but it depends on timings and things. But have a listen to what this guy is saying.
So remember when they said Africans do not like each other, right? This is what they actually mean in regard to what is currently happening in Sudan. Ethiopians wouldn't let Nigerians pass through their borders to get their ways back to Nigeria. We all know there is a crisis or war going on in Sudan right now, to the extent that even the Sudanese themselves are fleeing outside of Sudan. The Sudanese who are living in Khartoum are fleeing to their various villages. Almost everybody left Khartoum at the moment, which is the capital of Sudan, except for the international students, most of which are Africans. Some of them are women. They are left stranded in Sudan right now. All they do at the moment is to lie on the floor. Some of them are sick, some of them are injured allegedly. I have spoken with a lot of Nigerian students in Sudan. A lot of them have spoken out on social media. What they said is that one of the safest and easiest way to follow in order to leave Sudan at the moment is to get your way out from Khartoum to the Ethiopian border. And Nigerians try to follow that way with some other international students. Ethiopian immigration allowed every other nationality to pass through their country. Somali, Kenya, Djibouti, Yemen, and every other person except for Nigerians. They asked them to apply for a visa, which they did 3 days ago. Nobody is even looking into their visa application at the moment because there is a public holiday for it in Ethiopia. So they asked them to go back to Sudan while other people are passing. Even the Sudanese are passing, but they wouldn't let Nigerians pass. So they are indirectly asking them to go back and die, that we do not care about you, we only care about our neighbors. And remember at the beginning of Russia-Ukraine conflict, where all those white people wouldn't let black people pass through their borders. We came out in thousands on social media calling them racist. Ethiopia is giving us the same vibe. So we are using this medium to call on the attention of the Ethiopian government and the entire African Union to look into this case immediately.
Well done to this man here, Abis Fulani, I think it's called. Kudos to the guy for raising this issue here, this issue that we're talking about. And that is this issue. As Africans, why do we dislike each other as Africans? He's right. If it was Europeans now, we would be going to. But we are allowing ourselves to be divided as Africans. Oh, you're a Nigerian, you're Ethiopian. We are all Africans. And to treat each other like this is really shocking to see. It is really shocking. I think that we should be organizing a protest around the world. All Africans should be organizing, or Nigeria should be organizing a protest around the world at Ethiopian embassies to make them understand that this is a life and death situation. They should not be sending Nigerians back into those areas to put them in harm's way. Like the man said, let's listen to what he said here. Let me listen to this bit here. I think this here.
And Nigerians try to follow that way with some other international students. Ethiopian immigration allowed every other nationality to pass through their country. Somali, Kenya, Djibouti, Yemen, and every other person except for Nigerians.
So, the first thing is, if we had good government, the government should raise serious concerns with the Ethiopian government right now. That's what our government should do. Any government worth its salt would stand up for its people. So when you talk about one Nigeria, speaking about Nigeria now, these are indications that one Nigeria don't care. People are being put in harm's way. The Ethiopian government is putting so-called Nigerians in harm's way. What is the Nigerian government doing about it? That's question number one. Number two, as Africans, we really have to begin to think about how we treat each other. He made a very good point. If he was in Ukraine and the black people were being treated like this, we'll be all screaming. We need to talk about this. The African Union is a useless organization. We need to reconstitute it as Africans. It is a puppet. The African Union is a puppet of the European Union. We need to create something that will really speak for Africans and really begin to deal with African issues. Because right now, African Union is only focused on issues that doesn't concern Africans. It only talks about how it's going to benefit those who are coming into Africa, and that is clearly wrong. These are the kind of things that are really fundamental that we need to talk about. What are your thoughts on this? I'm probably going to come back on the live broadcast and do this. Should we all consider having a protest outside the Ethiopian embassy, starting in the UK and other places around the world, to make them, not put, fellow citizens in harm's way? I don't know. I'm exasperated when I see this, and we really need to ensure that we do not allow ourselves to be used to fight each other. The issue with the war in Sudan, for example, we are hearing that there's a proxy war between America and Russia going on ground. Either of them have supplied. The Americans have supplied the general, the one general in the Sudan with weapons, and the Russians have supplied another general with weapons in the Sudan. So I think one of the rebel faction, but they have a military man there. They supply them with weapons, so they are now fighting it out. And the object of that is to create division among Africans. We need to recognize what is being done. When somebody is giving you weapons to fight each other, what are they after? What are those who are sending you weapons to fight each other? What are they out to achieve? What is their aims? I think it's time that we Africans begin to look, scratch beneath the surface and begin to really understand and look at what is being done. Like I said, I'm going to come back on the live broadcast and talk about this. I want to kudos to this brother for actually reaching this point. What are your thoughts? Should the Nigerian government be doing a lot more? Now we hear that they're saying that they've told them to stay in their rooms, but if you run out of water and you have nothing to eat and all that, what are you supposed to do? So that is a very, very, and that can be literally happen in a few days. People are going to have to risk it. And the government, of course, as we all know, the lives of the citizens of Nigeria is not counting for much in the hands of the current governors in place. That's the evidence we can go on. What are your thoughts? How do you see this? I found this really perplexing that Africans are treating each other like this. For Ethiopians to tell Nigerians to go back to Sudan and get a visa, knowing fully well that the visa or the immigration offices closed in Sudan, and anybody going back to Sudan right now is putting themselves in harm's way. That's cruel. From one African to another, that really is a bad, terrible way that Ethiopia is treating Africans. We might even be trying to do something about that. Let me see if I can do something on here right now. I'm going to try do something right now, actually, because I don't want to just leave it alone. So I'll do it, and I might come back on there and do it live. I'll see. Let me just see. 1 second, please. 1 second. So I'm going to try something, but we're going to try and see if it works. So let me try this now. So we're going to try this now. I'm going to try this. So before I do that, call him. Yeah, I'm going to call him now.
Thank you for calling the Ethiopian Embassy in London. This is our lunch time. Please call back on our normal office hours, which is Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, so we will try and call back again.
Our website on www.ethioembassy.org.uk.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you. I wanted to just speak to somebody within the embassy to get some information about, a certain issue going on ground right now in Ethiopia. But I will call back in a few minutes literally less than 5 minutes, and we'll hopefully to get some. You can shed some light on that for us. As an African citizen, I'm just calling because we're hearing one or two things, and we would like to clarify that. And hopefully we can get some clarification from your embassy. Thank you very much. I'll be calling back in a few minutes. Thank you. Bye. So what I've done now, I've actually called the Ethiopian embassy in the UK right now. This is what I mean. We shouldn't just stand there not doing anything. And you can see they left a message to call back in a few minutes. I may do so, but if not, I will actually come and do a live broadcast and talk about what is going on, and they can give us some clarification about that. African Union is also another body we need to be speaking to. We need to understand why African Union is not really, they need to be taking some actions and things to address the issues going on. So let us see how that works as well. I might do all of those again on the live broadcast. But I think this brother here, his name is, I think is his, what's it called again? So let me just check that name again. Something Athis Fulani, I think it is, something like that. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, that's his name there. And that's the brother who brought this to our attention. And many have been talking about it. And I mean, we are hearing that the Nigerian government have said, let me show you something as well, an added, thing, aside, an addendum to the situation of things. So the federal government is aiming to evacuate stranded Nigerians in Sudan. But of course it's not totally safe. So you are going to require the government to provide some security and a safe corridor out. So the government, from what we heard, the government said, stay put, keep your head down, and they will evacuate you by road. So that's what they've said. So, there are a number of issues we're looking at. Firstly, African Union. Firstly, Ethiopia. Secondly, African Union. Of course, the key one is what the Nigerian government is doing. So they're going to try and, get them out by road. So they gave us a figure of 5,500 who are ready for evacuation. So from what we're hearing, 5,500 people are ready for evacuation out of Sudan. So we don't know how many of that are by the border in Ethiopia. But, these are the kind of things we want to talk about. So I wanted to just know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on what you've heard? This is quite a concern. African countries turning away fellow Africans and turning them back into a war zone is crazy. It's not something we can even begin it's not even something we should be considering. It is terrible. It is unacceptable. So what are your thoughts? How do you see this? Again, just to give you a quick, refresh on that, this brother talked about what's going on. Let's listen a bit more to what he said.
Asked them to apply for a visa, which they did 3 days ago. Yes. Nobody is even looking into their visa application at the moment because there's a public holiday for it in Ethiopia.
There's a public holiday in
Ethiopia. So we asked them to go back to Sudan while other people are passing. Even the Sudanese are passing, but they wouldn't let Nigerians pass. So they're indirectly asking them to go back and die, that we do not care about you, only care about our neighbors. And remember at the beginning of Russia-Ukraine conflict, where all those white people wouldn't let black people pass through their borders. We came out in thousands on social media calling them racist. Ethiopia is giving us the same vibe. So we are using this medium to call on the attention of the Ethiopian government and the entire African Union to look into this case immediately. Okay. Thank you.
So remember, I'll be making a call. In fact, I'm probably going to do it on here. I'll probably do it here, and then we can then either I do it on a live broadcast, or you heard me call them and they said they'll be ready in a few, but at 2:00. So what I'm actually going to do, you know what? I'm not going to go past this now. I'm going to call and find out what is going on. And then hopefully they can give us a bit more information about that. And you can share that on the broadcast as well. So, either I'll play it here now, and then I'll do it now and try and get some information from the Ethiopian embassy as to why they're doing what they're doing. And then we play this again on a live broadcast at some point. But here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to call them because I think it is really unacceptable what is going on. So let's go here.
For English, please press 2. please press 3. For trade, investment and other embassy services, please press.
And that's to the ambassador's office that I'm connecting to right now. So I'm trying to follow what they're doing. They're not picking up, obviously. So we're waiting. We'll keep trying. And I think we need to do this. This is to the Ethiopian embassy in UK here that I've just called. They're not answering, but we're not going to relent. We're going to hope for that somebody will pick up the call and try and answer us. So that's what we're trying to do. Again, I'll keep trying until we get some ideas. I've got some numbers, and we may even share the number. But let me get through first. So we're waiting for them to pick up. They're not picking up. They simply are not picking up. And we need to understand what's going on. So okay. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to call the number. When I come on the live broadcast, I'm going to try and call that number again. The Ethiopian embassy in the UK. They need to give us an answer as to why they are refusing, turning away Nigerians and sending them back into Sudan when they should, they should provide a safe haven for fellow Africans. We need to really do better. You can see the phone is not. I'll keep talking. I'm going to try and talk whilst it's still going on. But the question is, why are we Africans doing this to each other? It is really unacceptable for this to happen. For Ethiopians to be turning Nigerians back into Sudan and letting others through, that's unacceptable, and we need to call it out. Again, the kind of governance that we need. This is something that our government, in Nigerian government, should look into. This is totally unacceptable, and I'll be expecting me to. You'll be seeing me on the live broadcast shortly. So we'll talk again. Talk to you very soon. Thank you for watching. You can see they didn't pick up. It's been ringing for almost 5 minutes now. I think almost 3 minutes now. They're not picking up the phone. So let's see. So I'm trying to. You see, they're not picking up. So it seems as though they do not want to. So to speak to the ambassador's office, nobody's picking up there. And that, because we need to find out what's going on. So we don't want to work on hearsay. We want people to be, okay, you see? Okay, so now, we're going to try again. Let me try one more time. In fact, I'm determined to try now. Again, one more time. Again, I'm calling the Ethiopian embassy, and then we can see what can happen. So let's go again. I'll try again. We don't want to do that. That's what I want to do.
See in London. Tenayselኝ ይህ ለንደን የሚገኘው የኢትዮጵያ ኤምባሲ ነው። ለአማርኛ አንድን ይጫኑ። For English, please press 2. For information, please press 1. For consular services, please press 2.
Okay, let's try and do this.
Our embassy's consular office is open Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For other services such as business, diaspora, and public diplomacy, the embassy is open between 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please be advised that our embassy is closed on all UK public holidays. For Ethiopian public holidays, our consular office is open only for half day between 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for particular services such as document collection. For detailed information, please visit our website www.ethioembassy.org.uk. Our address is Ethiopian Embassy, 17 Princess Gate, London, SW7 1PZ.
Okay, so we're waiting. Hope they will answer. Hope somebody will pick up. We're trying to see if they will pick up and give us some answer, because that is the best way to do this, I think.
Your call cannot be transferred. Please try again later.
You see, my call cannot be transferred. Please try again later. You had it here. That's the Ethiopian embassy. So we've tried to call them in different numbers that we have. We will try again on our live broadcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we Africans begin to work together. There's a number of issues here. Nigerian government is really not doing enough to help the people. Yes, they're saying they're going to get the people together. They should be more proactive. Yeah, they're taking steps now, but they need to be more proactive. People are stranded back there. 5,500 people from their own records. They need to be more proactive about that too. African Union, what are they doing? African Union should mandate that all Africans going through our borders, we shouldn't even need papers. We should not need papers or visas. This is something that we need to address urgently. So again, I'll come and talk about this on the live broadcast. Number 3, finally, the idea that Ethiopia will tell Nigerians to go back into a war zone, and say they cannot give them visa papers, that they are on the bank holiday and all this stuff. It's crazy. So how do you see this? You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. When you get this broadcast, please do share, and share. It's really unacceptable that Africans are treating Africans in this manner. We shouldn't put Africans in harm's way. It is time we begin to love one another. We are Africans. It is bad enough the colonials are treating us in a shoddy manner. They're taking our resources. We need to treat ourselves in a much more humane way. We need to recognize the humanity within ourselves. They've taken those humanity out of us. We need to work together as Africans and begin to address this issue collectively. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please, when you get the broadcast, please do share, and share. I'll come back on the live broadcast and we can talk about this in greater detail. Thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. What are your thoughts? What do you think should happen? Leave comments. Let us share this. Help us share this broadcast. Let it go viral. Let it reach as many people as possible. It is crazy that Nigerians are being rejected from, prevented from getting visas. They are being prevented from getting, going through the border from Ethiopia so that they can make their way to other countries, heading back to Nigeria. They are prevented. Ethiopians are preventing Nigerians from going through their borders. This is not acceptable. It is so unacceptable. For an African to be treating a fellow African like this is so wrong. What are your thoughts? Leave your comments. Please do share the broadcast. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you. Bye for now.